Dance for me, Garfield.
Not a chance. On Monday, I fixed up Bun's bones after I messed with the settings a little too much to make some memes. Now, Bun's limbs are floppy and responsive, but rarely intersect, and I added a boing bone exclusions to his feet, so he stays nice and grounded when landing. At this point, I'd probably call Bun's floppiness a completed feature. Then I decided to add another item to the shop. Since the fun of the game comes from Bun's movement, and the game's movement should be freeing and let the player explore in many different ways, I decided that adding more than one jump could be a fun feature. I coded up a max consecutive jumps variable in my player abilities class, so from the shop item I can call do increment max consecutive jumps, so now I can add as many consecutive jumps to Bun as I want. I popped that in the save data class as well, and added a line to the save and load methods to save and load your consecutive jump count. On Tuesday, as my first stream of the week, I decided to have a level design session to continue to develop the pastel map. I'm really proud of how this one's progressing. I can't call any of the levels done yet, but it feels like I'm making my initial blockouts more conducive to free-flowing exploration. When you fall off a cliff, there's usually an area of interest pretty close nearby to start climbing back up. It seems to me like the foundations of the game are solid, and I just need to instill a sense of purpose and direction in the player. This I'm almost sure I'll have to do through a story, but I've been putting off writing a story because I'm kinda confident whatever I come up with is going to be cringy and terrible. With that being said, I want to turn some questions over to you guys. Where do you think Bun came from? Why is he going through magic portals to collect eggs and hatch them into boops? And what conflict is he resolving through this adventure? Is there an antagonist that he is trying to defeat, or is there someone that hid all the eggs? If you guys have any creative ideas in the comments, I would love to incorporate them into the story. For now though, I'll carry on storyless. On Thursday night, I decided I would go back through the hub world with some tact and care and start working on the final version of stuff. Of course, that would be left to Friday Erik. Thursday Erik can just delete most things in the hub world and call it good for the night. I know this seems like a really scary process, but it's actually pretty important to me that I understand the game well enough to be able to rebuild it from memory, and I tend to come up with the best ideas, at least the best visual ideas, when I'm looking at a big empty space. I think I have a good enough understanding of how I'd like the hub world to look and feel that I can confidently go back through and redesign the important features. The initial designs for things honestly usually take me between seconds and minutes. I just kind of blaze through everything I have to do to get things in a minimally viable state to show off on YouTube. And for how quickly I put things together, I've been doing well enough. But now I feel confident enough to go ahead and design and make some higher quality models that I actually spend a good amount of time on. I think it's just in my nature to make and remake things, because if I don't make it sloppily the first time, I'll never be able to start the process of making it into a beautiful model. So on stream on Friday, to start to rebuild the wacky hub world, I made some snazzy new assets and tweaked a lot of the lighting and atmosphere settings, until I got the hub world looking more intricate and ancient. I think I need to do a pass with some dust and grime decals to make the marble match the terrain better, but for now it looks good enough. Going through this process of destroying and rebuilding the hub world for probably the third or fourth time, I finally feel like everything is up to my standards. If I can continue with the same level of tact and care for the rest of the buildings, I think I'll make a pretty weird and beautiful environment for Bun to play in. This week has been my first week since I announced streaming Monday through Friday. I initially wanted to start doing dev streams to share my process, but I think in forcing myself to stream this often, I ended up worrying too much about the stream being boring, and ultimately I ended up less productive because of it. Looking back on the 3 streams I did this week, I actually like how it came across, how I was able to capture my process of making some really cool assets, and animations and improvements to the game. So going forward, I think I'm going to continue streaming, and I'll try my best to do Monday through Friday, at least for a couple hours every day. But I've decided I'm going to dedicate myself 100% to working as I usually would off stream, instead of trying to do anything special for the stream. Not that I'm like really acting that different, but there's a sort of constant anxiety that comes with being live that I want to learn to be comfortable with. And the only way I'm going to be comfortable with that is just by 100% being myself. I think this will make streams A, more productive for me, and B, a more genuine experience of my mindset and process while working on Bun and future projects.
And now it's time for the 200 subscriber Cinnamon Bun Special.
Thanks, Zach, from critically acclaimed web series Zach and Z. Since I hit 200 subs, I've been wanting to do something special to celebrate. My dad has gotten really into cultivating his own sourdough starter over COVID, so we've been going a little crazy on the baking and decided to try sourdough cinnamon buns. I didn't actually have any celebration planned, but this worked out perfectly, so please accept my humble offering of cinnamon buns, time-lapse, and B-roll. I'm Edit, and I wanted to share with you guys the indie game prototype that I've been developing. I've learned so much in the last few years from indie dev content creators like Brackies and Danny Dev and Blackthorn Prod. Hopefully you guys will learn something and look at a lot of pretty gameplay footage and hang out with me during this weird period of time that we live in. Hope you enjoyed that 200 sub bun special. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you just hit as many of the buttons as you can. There's like a red one, a bell, just go for it. Have a field day, man. All right, love you guys, and I will catch you in a week.